LJH crew, thank you for clicking on another edition of the real LJH Productions. Now, this video is going to be a little different. I want to talk about BeetleJuice and all the different interpretations that we have. I mean, we have the movie from 1988. We have the classic 90s cartoon as what I just based the intro off of. We have BeetleJuice, the musical. And now we have BeetleJuice. And they're all iconic in their own way. But I want to go down each one and tell you which one I think out of all of them is better. And honestly, out of all of them, what has the better storyline and what's the better interpretation, at least in my opinion? So we're going to start with the original. The 1988 classic, Tim Burton, right off of Pee-wee's Big Adventure, made BeetleJuice. I mean, it put Winona Ryder on the map. She had a couple hits before then, but really put Winona Ryder into knowing and getting roles that I believe there's roles that she wouldn't have gotten, in other words, if it wasn't for BeetleJuice. And of course, it was the start of a collaboration of movies with Michael Keaton and Tim Burton. And as great as the first movie is, in my personal opinion, it's not the best. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's got a lot of classic scenes. A lot of them are iconic. And one of my personal favorite scenes of the entire movie is the scene I'm about to roll the clip of. So let me do that, and then I'll get back to my thoughts.
Been to Saturn? Whoa. Sandworms. You hate them, right? I hate them myself. Come on, kids. What do I have to do to strike a deal with you two, huh? Don't you hate it when that happens? Let's go, Barbara. Wait. Come on. Just come on for a while. We'll talk inside. Come on.
I'm not staying here
This
another
is a
minute.
mess. Don't pay any attention to it.
Adam, we have to get out of here.
I agree, but I'll fix something to eat.
Home.
Barbara, how did you do that? Hope you like Italian. Where'd you go? Hey, come on. Hey, where'd you go? Oh, hey, come on. You gotta work with me here. I'm just trying to cut a deal. What do you want me to do? Where are you? You bunch of losers! You're working with a professional here! Nice fucking model!
So yeah, so that is one of my favorite lines in the entire movie. You know, I think everybody can agree, especially with the ending scene with him kicking down the model and saying that famous phrase. But it also is the movie that has BeetleJuice in it the least out of every interpretation. BeetleJuice is only in his own first movie for about 15 minutes. And to me, he's the star. I mean, don't get me wrong. Adam, Barbara, Lydia, Delia, Charles, big part of the first film. But, you know, it's just BeetleJuice was meant to be the main focus. The storyline in the first one focuses on Adam and Barbara Maitland and them trying to get people out of their house. Cool. Then you meet Lydia and you see that she's pretty much a broken child. Doesn't really explain in the first movie what happened to her biological mom, and all we know is that she's got a stepmother named Delia, and she's trying to cope with life, moving into a new home, and can relate to Adam and Barbara Mablin. And whether she wanted to admit it or not, which the first one did not explain, she's got something in common with Beetlejuice as well, but they don't address it. Now, the next interpretation that I want to talk about, I'm going in order here, and then I'll explain which one's my favorite one out of all. The next interpretation I'm going to talk about, of course, is the Beetlejuice 90s animated series, which came out after the movie. And the animated series decided to completely strip and Barbara out of the picture. Does not explain why. And focus on the friendship between Lydia and Beetlejuice, which I think we all knew could be there in the first film, but wasn't. The cartoon was a lot of fun. You know, it was a big part of a lot of 90 kids' childhood, and you know, it had a lot of comedy. It was a whole blast for a kid's Saturday morning and a kid's after school cartoon. We'll say forensic, if you will. Beetlejuice was a big part of the 90s cartoon lineup. It just was. Between it aired on Fox, ABC, and with how long it aired on Nickelodeon, it was just memories, I can say. Then we go to Beetlejuice the musical. Now, this interpretation is interesting. One, they brought in one of the most talented people in Broadway that they could one of the most talented people on Broadway that they could possibly bring in, which was Alex Brightman. And then you have everybody else in this cast was just incredible. I was lucky enough to see the Broadway play with my daughter, and depending on which one you saw, I mean, Alex Brightman was always Beetlejuice, but what made this so great was all the perfect interpretations of Lydia that we had in this. You know, we had Sophia Ann Caruso, we had Elizabeth Teeter, and then we had Peyton. I don't remember her last name, but I remember her name being Peyton. And out of all those Lydias, they all gave it their own. And the one that I got to see throughout was the one with Elizabeth Teeter. Her interpretation of Lydia was just perfect. And she fed off that cast completely well, and it was really, really, really great. The thing about the musical is I felt it had a better storyline than the original movie. It explains Lydia's past, talks about what happened to her mom, talks about what she's going through and having to deal with her dad falling in love with, we'll call her life coach, because that's what Delia is. Delia was hired to help Lydia through a tragic moment, and she ended up falling for Charles, as Charles ended up falling for her, and it made it even harder on Lydia, because now Lydia is trying to deal with the fact that she feels like her mom is being replaced, and Beetlejuice in this movie, in the musical, is, you know, just doesn't get it. Why would you want to go? Why do you care so much? What's the, he's trying to be human and she's trying to go see her mom in the dead world to get away from all of her things that are going on with her mom, with her stepmom, future stepmom, and dad, because she just doesn't want to deal. Then you have Adam and Barbara who are trying to cope with getting rid of them in the house. And, at first they were going to hire Beetlejuice, but then realized that Beetlejuice is a psycho and don't go with hiring him, and then end up being like second parents to Lydia and making her understand that, hey, having a stepmom might not be too bad, and it's a lesson everybody learns, and even Beetlejuice learns a lesson in this one on how to be good. So the musical is a very good interpretation of a bunch of things. And to me, like I said, it tells the Adam and Barbara Maple story better. It explains more with Lydia. And honestly, I think it gives Beetlejuice more of a character set and story. Then we get to BeetleJuice, which I did a review on, which I'll link up top. And here's the thing. Tim Burton kind of took inspiration from the last three interpretations. He again didn't bring back Adam and Barbara in this one, which we all know. He just explains that they found a loophole and they made it over and crossed over, blah. And now we're dealing with an older Lydia, who is a medium and discovers, she can use this for the good, and, she can see ghosts. Cool. And the movie takes some inspiration from Beetlejuice the musical and brings in some music, and 2 C's, especially the ending. The ending was pretty funny. Then it also brought inspiration from the cartoon, where Lydia has to trust Beetlejuice to help her get her daughter out of the netherworld. If you want to hear more about my review, yeah, you can click on the top, like I said. And that's where the friendship part of it comes in, and she has to learn to trust him, and I think she does. She still doesn't trust him completely, but she trusts him enough. Now the thing is, the whole point of this whole video was to explain to you guys which one I think out of all of them is the better interpretation and has a better story. My personal opinion to you is the best story out of every interpretation of Beetlejuice we have so far is Beetlejuice the musical. It's just, it's fun, and I feel like in the musical you get to see these characters grow, and you can relate to them more and have a lot of fun with the musical numbers and all. Second, I would say, out of every tradition, is the cartoon. The cartoon to me is second. I just think the cartoon is a lot of fun and is I just got a lot of good memories from it, being a kid and watching it over and over again. And then, of course, after that, I would say that BeetleJuice would be the next best interpretation of it. Tim Burton, his mind is just amazing. And, and that storyline was really good, even though it had too many storylines going on at once. It was still decent. And then, of course, last would be the first movie. I just feel like they could have gave us more from the first movie without making it be all over the place. And honestly, I think Beetlejuice deserved more screen time. I do. And he just wasn't given it. But yeah, so to run it down, my favorites in order of Beetlejuice is Beetlejuice the musical, Beetlejuice the animated series, Beetlejuice, and then of course we got the last movie. But that was just me rambling on, guys, about how I see the Beetlejuice franchise. If you all liked this video and stayed this long, give this video a massive thumbs up. Hit those notification bells so you know when I post a video. We talk about stuff like this on the channel all the time. I do trailer reviews, I do movie reviews, I do unboxings, and we have fun and talk about physical media on this channel. But with that being said, I want you all to enjoy your day and have a good one. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And remember, once you hit 500 subscribers, guys, I am giving away that copy of Spider-Man 2 for the PS5. And I'll see you all real soon. And as they say in the movies, cue the lights.